What's up, everybody? I'm John Hoover. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about former Oklahoma coach John Blake and why every one of his old teammates and players loved him and stood behind him. We'll talk the latest from OU Athletic Director Joe Castiglione and his constant battle to stay on top of the latest coronavirus news. And then later today, we're going to hear from Sooners basketball coach Lon Kruger, whose team has officially reported for off-season workouts earlier this week. And of course, you know we're going to talk about OU football recruiting. All that's coming right up. Okay, here's what's up, people. This channel is going away. I can't say exactly when. It might be a lot sooner than any of us want, but I'm going to be posting all my new content on a different channel. Everything you come here for to watch is going to be on a different channel. So here's what I need you guys to do. And I cannot stress how important this is for me to continue to post these videos. I need you to go over to my other channel right here, right now, and subscribe. Just click on this card at the top right now and hit subscribe. That's it. Eventually, this channel will be deleted, and the other one is where I'm going to be posting everything. So it's absolutely vital. I mean that. As a favor to me, please go do it right now. I'll sit here, right here, and wait for you guys to get back. Okay, glad you're back. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. You guys know by now where to find me on the web. I covered the Oklahoma Sooners for the new Sports Illustrated affiliate, SI Sooners, allsooners.com. And if you want more, I mean like lots more, new stories, new videos every day, just head over to sisooners.com or allsooners.com. Follow me on Twitter at John E. Hoover and on Facebook at John E. Hoover Media. Okay, let's get to it. Yesterday, sad day, especially for Oklahoma fans. John Blake died. I mean, this news was shocking to me. I was stunned. We first heard about it from Channel 9 sports director Dean Blevins, who posted on Twitter that Barry Switzer told him it was a heart attack while exercising. I mean, so sad, man. Just 59 years old. Now, a lot of OU football fans are going to identify John Blake as the guy in charge when the Sooners had their roughest 3 years in the history of the program. 12 wins, 22 losses, and a lot of frustration. And while that part is certainly true, there's other sides of John Blake that are just as undeniable. One, he was an incredible recruiter. The players that he landed in the 1997 and 1998 recruiting classes were amazing. Roy Williams, Rocky Kalmus, Curtis Fagan, Damian Mackey, Frank Romero, Trent Smith, Andre Woolfolk, Seth Littrell, Rocky Bright, Corey Callens, Jeff Ferguson, Barry Holloman, Ante Jones, Roger Steffen, and J.T. Thatcher. Think about that. Just unbelievable. Now, a lot of those guys were not heralded recruits, so it's not like John Blake had to go out and beat everybody for those guys. But, and certainly when they got to OU after playing for a couple of years, Bob Stoops came in 99 and 2000 and was able to identify them and put them in the right position. But still, to have that much talent, fast forward a couple of years, just a couple of years after John Blake got fired, and those guys that I mentioned, those guys are the heart and soul of Bob Stoops' 2000 team that won the national championship. But basically, it was half the two deep. I remember everybody was so stunned, and I was one of them, that Stoops could win a national championship in just his second year. Hadn't been done before. This came just 2 years after OU had 3 straight losing seasons. But it happened because John Blake recruited those players. That's a fact. The reality is John and his staff had a few of those guys playing out of position, and frankly, they weren't being coached very well by John or anybody on that staff. That's the truth, too. I think we can all agree on that. That's where Stoops came in, and Mike Stoops, and Brent Venables, and Jackie Shipp, and Cale Gundy, and Bobby Jack Wright, and Steve Spurrier Jr., and Jonathan Hayes, and Mark Mangino, and of course, Mike Leach. That was an amazing coaching staff. No doubt about it. And to take a bunch of players from someone else's recruiting class and to win a national championship in just 2 years, I can't stress enough how almost, impossible that is. That's how good Bob Stoops and his staff were early on. But I talked to a handful of former Sooners who either played with John Blake or played for him or, played alongside him or coached with him, who said across the board, that the man does not get enough credit for laying that foundation of talent that Stoops and his guys were able to mold into a national champion. That's absolutely true. I think this might be the best way to say it. If John Blake hadn't been so successful in recruiting those two classes, would Bob Stoops have won a national championship in 2000? No, no way. But if David Boren and Joe Castiglione had seen that talent coming down the pike and decided to give John Blake another 2 years with those guys, would Blake have won a national championship in 2000? No way. There's no revisionist history there. Those are just facts. The reality is it took both ends, Blake's recruiting and Stoops' coaching, to win that national title, plus a little bit of Sooner magic that year. And then the second thing I want to say about John Blake, he left an impression on everyone that he touched. I talked with Tony Casillas, who was a freshman at OU when Blake was a senior, and then later got coached by Blake with the Dallas Cowboys. You guys remember Tony, two-time All-American, Lombardi, Outland winner, all that stuff. As good as it gets, top draft pick. He knows a thing or two about John Blake. He knows a thing or two about playing that position and how to coach it, and he could not say enough good things about John Blake. I also talked to Gary Lowell, who was a 2-year starter at safety for the Sooners. This is when Barry Switzer was coaching, when John Blake was an all Big 8 nose guard in 1981 and 1982. I talked to also Seth Littrell, who was one of those guys in that 97 class who came to Oklahoma because, one, he loved the Sooners since birth and he was coming to Oklahoma, but two, he said he wanted to play for John Blake. Every one of those guys expressed to me how they felt about John Blake, the man, and I'm telling you, it was touching. All three guys, it was just heartfelt conversations. They were emotional, and I thought they really opened up about who John was as a man, as a person. I mean, John Blake came to North Texas, where Seth is now the head coach, and he prayed over Seth Littrell's son in the hospital. Amazing. He used to take Seth fishing when he was a player and take him to lunch one-on-one. Tony Casillas told me he texted all his old Cowboys teammates when he heard the news, and they were all super sad. And then Lowell told me that Blake had just, a special quality about him, a way of picking guys up when they were down. And he said that kind of, unique empathy and human sensitivity was exactly what made John Blake successful as a recruiter. Bottom line, almost everyone who played with or played for John Blake loved the man. I encourage you to read what those guys and others said about John Blake in my article Thursday. You can find that at sisooners.allsooners.com. Listen, that's where we post a ton of stories and videos, allsooners.com. My deputy editor is Parker Thune. He is absolutely knee-deep in OU's recruiting news, so you need to check it out. Parker's story on Lincoln Riley this week, turning heel and playing the villain in recruiting, and how that's okay. It was a brilliant story. Parker wrote about OU and Lincoln Riley offering scholarships to a couple of guys who are already committed to other schools. One is 2023 prospect Trayon Webb, who's been committed to Georgia since last November. But the one who really caught everyone's eyes just a little while later in the day, Riley offered 4-star slot receiver and return specialist Billy Bowman, a 2021 prospect out of Denton, Texas. What's so special about Billy Bowman? Well, he's been verbally committed to almost a year now to Tom Herman and the Texas Longhorns. Bowman's one of the top prospects in the 2021 class. Certainly one of the fastest. And he's been throwing up the horns for a while now. But Lincoln Riley, steps in this week and tries to flip him. It's not like that never happens, but it doesn't happen every day. I mean, there's no gentleman's agreement in place or anything like that. Every recruit is open game. But generally speaking, this is not exactly common practice for either OU or Texas to make a late offer to a commit from that other school. There's a pride factor involved, and they usually don't do it. But, it does happen, but not frequently. Well, it turns out a lot of other OU recruits are now trying to flip Bowman as well. And one of those might be, not going to speak for her, but I would think that might be his girlfriend, OU softball signee Jada Coleman. She's the Gatorade National Player of the Year. We wrote a story on her earlier in the summer. And you would think, wouldn't you? You would think that she might have some suggestions for where Bowman should play his college football. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be worth watching for sure. Another story I want to get to today was what Joe Castiglione told Toby Rowland just this morning, speaking of Texas. Joe C. was asked about reports earlier in the week from the Austin American-Statesman, my good friend Brian Davis, that OU and Texas could move to campus venues this year and next year to, combat the coronavirus. We already know that the city of Dallas has said that the State Fair of Texas is canceled in 2020. And of course, that's naturally led to a lot of speculation about whether the game will be played at the Cotton Bowl this year. Home and home, even if it's only for 2 years, I mean, it does sound kind of fun. I've been to 16 straight OU Texas games, and I've eaten a lot of Fletcher's corny dogs, a heck of a lot. But rolling up to Norman on a Saturday morning to watch Texas fans wander around campus ahead of what, hopefully would be a 6 p.m. kickoff at Owen Field, I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that doesn't sound fun. Just once. I'm all for tradition, but that sounds fun. Anyway, here's what Joe C. said about the possibility of that happening.
I'm not going to sound smart alecky and say it hasn't come up, but it's not something we're talking about at this point in time, because I don't know what that would serve. We're still not sure how we're going to answer the questions about fans and whether this is a singular year issue. So whoever hosts the game the first year may have feel like it's a disadvantage the second year if we're back to being able to fill our stadiums again. Right now, both Chris Delcani and I have talked it through, and it's we're still hopeful to have the game, Toby, and we're still hopeful to play it and try to accommodate as many people as we can, but it's scheduled for the Cotton Bowl.
Basically, there's a lot of layers to doing this kind of thing, and really that you and I just can't even imagine. The contract, Joe says, is with the Cotton Bowl. So virus or no virus, crowd or no crowd, you can believe that's where the game will be, at least in 2020 and moving forward, in Dallas, Texas. And then last, it's going to be good to hear from Lon Kruger later on today. He is scheduled to do a video interview with media this afternoon, and I can imagine that some of the topics he's going to have to address will be interesting to listen to. First, think about it. Kruger coaches an indoor sport, and although there are a lot fewer players than football, obviously, just having those workouts and practices and games inside instead of outside presents a whole new set of challenges for him and his staff. I'm guessing that Lon is going to be in a good mood. He, as usual, he always is. He's going to be eager to talk about his team, his guys, the new guys, the transfers, the potential schedule challenges that college basketball faces, and of course a lot more. I'll try to post the full interview with Lon later today right here on this channel, which makes now a good time to talk about it again. I'm going to post it here on this channel, and I'm also going to post it on my other channel as well. Listen, if you're still here, that means you probably enjoy this channel, and if that's true, then I know I can count on you to help me out here. Please. This channel will be going away very soon, possibly very, very soon, and I need your help. It's a weird little bizarre twist. Google and YouTube are involved in it. It's just, something that's out of my control. Nothing I can do about it, but all this content is coming down, and I'll be posting all my new videos, some old videos, of course, and lots of other content at my new channel. So please head over there right now and subscribe. If you're able to do that today, I thank you. And remember, at SI Sooners, allsooners.com, all of our content is free. We have a community just like a message board, so don't be afraid to sign up. It's free, it's easy, it's fun. Follow me on Twitter at John E. Hoover or on Facebook at John E. Hoover Media. SI Sooners, allsooners.com. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. See you guys.